Hi, Michael here. January 10 update, and we're in the position that we were actually already expecting yesterday, all markets turning into red. Again, this is not completely unexpected, although there are positive signs as well. Some of us argue that the Chinese opening their borders and hence also their markets is all but in the first place an opportunity. But at this moment, it's not yet translating into green markets, which is a pity. On the other hand, it's just as nice to fall in love on a rainy day as it is in the sun. So good markets or bad markets, what the heck, will make money anyway. And that's exactly what we can do today. We've identified 22 um, records that have upgraded from reduce or hold to accumulate, and 12 new records that we will add to the watch list here. Obviously, I'm not going to share all of these. We'll share 5 of them with you. First of all, I don't want to give all my crown jewels away. And secondly, I'm getting the feedback that my videos are too long. So what we'll do is we'll shorten them. Um, this is what the dashboard looks like today. Yes, you can see I've been doing large efforts keeping the file up to date. We're local time in Brussels now 3 minutes past 5 p.m., which means that European markets are closing or have already closed, while the US markets have been open for about an hour and a half. Interesting that I've got error messages here, which means we're not showing what are the top movers for today, but that has to do that I'm switching between Office 365 online and locally on the laptop, and that gives this kind of nonsense. But let's not get distracted by that. Let's have a look at the new records that we have for you. And the first one is Ecopetrol. Give me a minute while I'll put on the data on my incognito screen so I can share it verbally with you. So all signs for eco control, be it short-term, mid-term, and long-term, are very positive, um, which means that we identified this stock in an early phase. And when we can find the first resistance here, let's hope it gives us a nice spread. We've got a first resistance at 11.26. Which gives us, it would help obviously if I, yeah, which gives us a spread of 4.40%. A nice spread, but not a candidate for the sweet spot, and we'll have a look at the sweet spot later. The next one is Gerdau. I don't know what they do or how we pronounce it, but the ticker is GGB, with a first resistance of 596, which, as we can see here in the current price, we've already passed. We've broken that first resistance, which means that we're early in the rally for the next one. We see a next resistance at 6.21, which gives us again a nice spread, but not the ones that we are looking for. Nevertheless, we take it in full gratitude. Next one that we identified for you in terms of upgrades to accumulate is Alibaba. Baba, it's not the one from the caves with the 40 thieves. At least that's what we hope. All indicators there, short, mid, and long term, on green, and explicitly we see here that the buyers are very strongly in control. So we're at the beginning of a rally here. First resistance of 125.84, which gives us a very nice spread, 10.29%. And when we review the sweet spot later, this one will pop up as a a new family member to our sweet spot. We have next Hologic, Holx, Holx, Hologic Healthcare. Everything related to healthcare has been very hot over the past 2 years. Also here, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be adding them, both all three short, mid, and long-term indicators in the positive. We've just broken the previous resistance, which was at 76.90. And again, we see a rally on the horizon. Current resistance, first resistance 79.68, which doesn't make sense considering that we've got the first resistance already broken with a current price of 81. But I cannot see a next resistance calculated here yet, so I'll just put in that one. Obviously, we see that there's a negative spread here, but I'm sure that by tomorrow we'll see very convincing evidence that this rally has continued, and we'll have a new resistance identified there tomorrow. Last one that we want to add today is Delta Airlines. I've always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with this stock, but let's not argue with the professionals. That's why they are professionals in the first place. Again here, strong upward potential for today. All the indicators in the green. There's fairly large volume, so that makes that the data that we're sharing here should be rather convincing. I can hardly believe that this is true, but we see a first resistance at 79.68. That's the previous one. I'm looking at the wrong records here. Here we are. Delta Airlines, first resistance at 36.88, and which has been passed already by now, as we can see here. But again, there's one that we need to come back to tomorrow to see how well this performance continues, or if this starts weakening again. Now let's have, before we conclude, a look at the sweet spot. Let me just refresh the data here. You never know what it brings. And then we will sort as usual before we conclude on the rating, and then on the spread. I've already put that sorting here. Let's see if the dashboard is correct, because according to the dashboard we're supposed to have 9 stocks in the sweet spot, and now we see also that top movers are being filled out here. Congratulations to everybody who has CureVac, CVAC in their portfolio. For the amount that you've put in there, you've become 15.44% richer, which is always better than getting poorer, despite what other people claim. We've got here indeed 9 stocks in the sweet spot. Very convincing, with spreads between 10 and 18.36. Some of us who've been following the channel over the past days will remember when we've added QDEL to the sweet spot here. We had a spread of just over 10%. We've not only been using that spread, but the spread has further increased. So very worthwhile stock to look at. And what is even nicer, from these 9 stocks in the sweet spot, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 4. 4 of them that have just started or are still running in their rally. So again, I would not advise you to buy these stocks. Talk about that with your professional advisor. But if you've got money to spend, there's always an opportunity to make more. As predicted, we've seen Alibaba coming up here when we earlier identified it. We had a spread of over 10%, but as why when we refreshed the data earlier, apparently the price has gone down a little bit. But I'm expecting to see Alibaba show up here over the next days. Um, that's it for today. Um, back to reality. That's never a bad thing. Keep your eyes open and keep your purse closed, except when your professional advisor tells you not to. See you back tomorrow. Thank you.